take a look at this interview that apparently Bob Chapek gave to the Wall Street Journal. Don't forget that Bob Chapek is the savior, and he's actually secretly against all of the stuff that Disney has been doing, even though he's literally quadrupled down on things, like the stuff in Florida when he decided that he was going to put his company in a terrible financial position where they now have to pay tons of taxes and go through regulations in Florida because they decided that the best thing to do would to be announcing support for a bill that would divide their audience and lose them tons of money. And then, of course, their actual content, which I'm sure he signs off on, which we'll go over in a second. But yeah, Bob Chapek is the savior, anti-woke, they say. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that he said recently in an interview. Bob Chapek denies Disney has become too woke. The company survived for 100 years by catering to its audience and is going to thrive the next 100 by doing the same. Oh, yes. Yeah, shows like She-Hulk of your super popular MCU, which brings in tons of money. But I'm sure it's going to keep bringing money for the next 100 years when you make an entire show about attacking the fans who criticize it. Oh, how did that work out for you? Well, it failed to make Nielsen's streaming charts. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But yeah, they're going to be around for another 100 years. They're going to be right there. They're following their North Star, as he says in this interview. How about Star Wars? Star Wars not doing so good either after you divided the fan base and shit all over Star Wars fans. Let's take a look at some newer stuff that's definitely been produced under his watchful anti-woke eyes. A Little Mermaid, one of the most disliked trailers of all time. 1.2 million likes to 3.2 million dislikes. How about another recent thing where they revealed that they have a plus-size ballerina, which I've never seen. Not that I go to a lot of ballerina stuff, but I've seen one or two of them, and I've never seen this, probably because it's pretty hard to be athletic when you're overweight. There's a reason that people joke that a heavyweight superhero's mortal enemy would be a staircase. Bob Chapek, definitely the savior, super anti-woke, definitely not trying to divide audiences, I'm sure. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that he said here. I always like to hear what the savior has to say. Despite the numerous, various, ever-growing, and near-unending examples to the contrary, Disney CEO Bob Chapek has rejected the notion of the House of the Mouse has become too woke, instead arguing that the company's recent slate of political and creative decisions are simply a result of following the same long-term key for success that they have always had, catering to their audience. Oh, right. Yeah, She-Hulk, a show that literally made its main villains anti-woke Marvel fans isn't trying to divide the audience. Sure. Absolutely. The ever-divisive CEO shared his opinion on the matter during a recent appearance on the Wall Street Journal's money, business, and power-centric podcast, The Journal. So he was asked if he believes that Disney has become too politically correct and if the people that are saying that have a point. Chapek replied, I think the more complex something is the more you have to really drill down into the basics. We want our content to reflect the rich, diverse world that we live in, he explained. Again, I guess that's another way of saying catering to your audience. Right. Yeah, that's what She-Hulk was for sure, catering to the Marvel audience. That's what people that were fans of those first 22 movies definitely were looking for in a show. 100%. Yeah, that's why it was at the top of the chart. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. So he continues on. But the world is a rich, diverse place, and we want our content to reflect that, and we're so blessed to have the greatest content creators. CEO continued, but I think that's good from a commercial standpoint as well, because then you appeal to the largest possible audience, and certainly we live in a world now where everything seems to be polarized. I don't really think there's anything polarized when it comes to things like She-Hulk. You made She-Hulk polarizing. You made Star Wars polarizing with those great content creators. Those great content creators like Kathleen Kennedy. Now, you can argue Kevin Feige did at least have a good track record, but I would say that Kathleen Kennedy has never had one. This guy brought her back. She's never had a good track record. She's got one win the entire time she's been there, and that was The Mandalorian. Other than that, she's had nothing. Star Wars is a dead brand. This is what a dead brand looks like. A show that's actually getting praised, and no one's watching it. Why is that? It's because nobody gives a shit about Star Wars anymore. You've got to trot out some old actor now to make a cameo in something to have anybody hyped up. But sure, the best creators. And the only one making things polarized is you, Chapek. I mean, he literally polarized his entire audience when he quadrupled down on the shit that happened in Florida and lost his company all kinds of money. They lost a ton of money. They're still losing money on it because now they have to, like the way Disney basically kind of ran like a corporate town, but now they no longer have their little regulation cuts that they had to do. All that internal stuff that they did, like that's all gone now. The tax breaks that they were getting, all gone now. To this end, he asserted, I think we want Disney to stand for bringing people together, and I think we'll do that by diverse stories and diverse characters. And this is another show, Miss Marvel. Didn't watch it. Heard it was okay from a couple of people. Don't know if that's true or not. This show also was not top of the ratings. I think it made the Nielsen charts 1 week and then it fell off. So, I don't know. Oh, this was another thing. This big robot thing. I don't know what this is called, but he's there. They put him in the female products aisle and they got this dude giving him advice for it. Yeah, I'm sure that's not polarizing. This is another thing that happened under the Savior Chapek's watch. I just don't get this narrative of him being anti-woke and the savior of Disney. Like, the dude has doubled down on woke stuff left and right. In fact, I would say it's gotten worse for Disney since he's taken over. But this is my favorite quote in the entire thing. I think Disney is a company that survived for 100 years by catering to its audience. And it's going to thrive the next 100 years by catering to its audience. You've done nothing but polarize your audience. I can't wait to see how Disney looks in a few years. The thing that keeps Disney going, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, is the theme parks. They make so much money on those theme parks. But once those theme parks aren't special, they look run down. Especially Magic Kingdom, it looks run down and outdated. What keeps those theme parks going is kind of the aura of their franchises and their products, like MCU and Pixar and all this other stuff. It keeps Disney looking magical. But once all those products lose their magic, and they will, especially when you see what's going on with She-Hulk and Star Wars, people are going to stop caring so much about the theme parks, especially when there's better ones right down the road. Universal, for example, is a much better theme park than the Disney ones. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to point out Bob Chapek still as woke as ever. And this was an interview that I think happened like last week. So this isn't like this is some old thing people are pulling out as a gotcha. This is like new. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Chapek is the savior of Disney? He's anti-woke. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video, hit that notification bell. Also, check out my Rumble and my locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.